Is there anybody in the, okay, perfect. I want to make sure nobody's waiting to be let in. Hey, Emily, another Emily here. Okay.
I'll let them all
and
in.
I see Jen is here. Awesome, you guys. Okay, welcome to the Dynasty Strong Sneak Peek Coaching. I'm Shaelee, and I am Scotty's, he's my grandpa coach. So I am Kira's downline, and I'm super excited because we just got back from Summit. We were in St. Louis, and this was the first Summit in 3 years. And it was incredibly insane. And all of us are still feeling all of the fire from that. So I want to keep the fire rolling and invite all of you guys to come check out what we've been doing I've been doing it for the last 5 years. Scotty's been in this for about 11 years. So we've got a couple questions that you can use the chat to ask questions, but right away, I want to jump into, I want to know what inspired you to be here tonight. So I want you to put in the chat, what inspired you to be here tonight? Because I really, truly believe it's not an accident that we're all here and that the things that we're passionate about are our calling. And don't mind me because I'm at my kids' dance studio. So if you hear some dance music or some dancers popping in, then that's kind of how this job works. You do it when it fits in the cracks, right, of motherhood. So that is how I'm going to schedule my calls, is when I have these windows. Okay, so in the chat, let's see if we've got anybody that's commented so far. Hey, Trey, it's time to go in, bud. Thanks, Ricky. You got to go to class, Trey. My little one's trying to get out of class. Okay, have fun, Trey. Bye. Okay, all right, we have a couple of people that have commented. I'm here because I fell in love with helping people get results with these programs. Awesome, Scotty. Emily, she says, I love that. Oh, she says that's how her life is too. And another Emily says she wants to stay motivated to work out and help others do the same. And Jenna loves fitness and overall health. I can tell that about you, Jenna. That's something we have in common. Okay, and let's see if I missed anybody else. Okay, I think that's all. Okay, so just to give you a little insight, I'll start with my story. So I've always been passionate about health and fitness, but I've never really been consistent. So I'll give you just a small example, a really early on story of my mom trying to take me to dance class. And I would tell her every Monday, I'm just tired on Monday, moms. I'm just tired on Monday, mom. So I would stay in the car while my other sister would go into dance class and tumbling. And she got so good at tumbling and I just sucked at it because I never would go to class. And that is kind of just the story. So I wasn't sticking with anything. And if it didn't come easy or natural to me, I was just really quick to give up. I kind of just expected that things that I'm supposed to do should be easy. And that was not helping because it made me pretty envious of my sister because she was getting so good at everything and I wasn't. So just to flash forward a little bit, I did do some cheerleading in high school. I was on the cheer in both 9th grade and 12th grade. And when I was in cheerleading, because a lot of people would be like, of course you make a great coach, you were a cheerleader. Well, when I was in cheerleading, I always felt awkward. I felt outcasted. I felt like I wasn't really a part of the team. My sister was also on the cheer squad and she had all these friends, but she didn't really like me. My sister didn't because, sister drama. And then that made it so I felt like other people didn't like me. So I developed this belief about myself that I had a hard time making friends. And that stuck with me and it really took me down hard in 10th grade. I remember sleeping in class, failing classes. I failed aerobics, I failed cooking, I failed sewing. I tried to make it to at least the important classes, but I just have to say I was seriously in a bad place in my life. And then I ran into a book, personal development book, The Secret, and that's when I picked back up. And all of a sudden in 11th grade, I started getting 4.0s. It's no secret that when you have something to feed your mind that you do so much better. all of a sudden I'm passing classes. I got back into cheer squad because I had good enough grades. But by the time I went to college, I had this feeling like, oh, it's too late. I wanted to do all these things and I just didn't do the things. I did do a couple of dance classes in college, and I went on to become an elementary teacher. I have a passion of working with kids because I believe if you work with kids that you can change the world. Really, that's where everything starts, right? And my mom, my sweet, sweet mom, who's also an elementary teacher, had 6 kids. And I had the best childhood. We were seriously poor. And she was the most amazing mom, made it feel like I had everything, even though we were living in a 2-bedroom trailer with 6 kids. Just picture that for a minute, 3 bunk beds in 1 room. It was crazy. So I grew up with not a lot. I grew up in a family of obesity, a family of poverty. And when I started having my own kids, I thought that I needed to do it the same way that my mom did it. So I was giving everything I had, just entertaining, like very involved, which nothing against that. That is amazing. And I wanted to create the same thing my mom gave me for my kids. But by the time that I had my second kid, if you look in the bottom left-hand picture, that is kind of like, really look at it, like literally drained. I remember when I was pregnant, I was pushing the cart and I had Aaliyah there and I was pregnant with Hazeley, my second daughter, and I was exhausted. And I'm just like, this is crazy. It's so hard to even go to the grocery store. Like, I am so tired. This is so hard. And I got to this point where I really relied on other people's compliments. I really needed that to believe in myself. And I remember having my mom over one day and I was kind of waiting for her to tell me that I was doing a good job as a mom, and she never did. And I was like crushed. I was just like, are you serious? Like, I'm in college, or doing all these things. And that kind of was the similar pattern I had with my husband, where I kept telling him, I don't feel appreciated. I need more connection. I remember being late one night, writing him a letter. And I keep this letter to this day, because it shows how far I have grown. And I was just telling him about all of these things about, I don't feel appreciated. You don't do this, you don't do that. It was basically not me. I wasn't taking any ownership at all at this point, and really hoping for more affection and appreciation and acknowledgement that I was awesome. I really needed him to tell me that I was awesome, and he wasn't. And so it was not good for our relationship. And I was scrolling through Facebook one night and I ran into this thing, as you can see right there. It says Happy Woman Boot Camp. And I was like, oh, that looks cool. Except this group was specific to moms, Happy Mom Boot Camp. I was like, well, that sounds nice. Like, I'm really, really not happy at all. I am so sad, like crying late at night here, just pouring my heart into this letter to my husband about hoping he's going to fix it all. And I joined this group, and there was this girl, and she was a mom like me, and she had multiple kids, and she had so much energy, and she's like pushing the jogging stroller and just doing all these things. And she was very involved mom. Remember, that's my goal. I don't ever want to put my goals in front of being a very involved mama. And so I'm just like, oh, like this is working for her, whatever she's doing. So I plugged into her free group, and I made a commitment to myself after I had my second daughter, Hazy. I am going to stick with something. I am sick of quitting. I am so sick of it. So I plugged into her group. It was awesome. It was totally awesome. And I also stumbled across this aerial studio where they did pole fitness, silks, lyra, hammock, crazy acrobatic people in there. So I walked in one day and these girls were flying around, and I'm just like, how can anyone get to that level? That is insane. Like, how do you get to these levels? I don't understand. And so I made the commitment. I'm like, I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to stick with this aerial studio. It was in Sunset, Utah. So anyway, I made the commitment to go 1 or 2 days a week. I set a number in my mind. But the thing is that in order to hit my fitness goals, I knew I needed to be putting in more than 1 or 2 days a week. I knew it. And I remembered that happy mama group. It kept staying behind in the back of my head. And all the girls at the studio were like, hey, if you really want to hit some goals, you know, with this, you're going to need some cross training. And I'm like, so basically it's other workouts, a wide variety of workouts. If you're doing the same thing all the time, you're not going to improve. So I did have a gym membership at that time. I was trying to hit the goal of going there, but every time I would go there, I tried to bring my kids to the gym. They'd either be sick, or if we'd go, they'd come and interrupt my workout and be like, hey, your kid just pooped himself or whatever, herself, because I only had 2 girls at this time. And literally on a good week, it was 1 time a week I would go. And every time I would go there, I would hit the treadmill. I'm like, this is so stupid. Why am I paying all this money to go on a treadmill? I called it the dreadmill at that time. Just to give you guys an idea of how much like I dreaded all of this stuff. It was not like, yes, I liked fitness, but like I said, it was a love-hate relationship all my life. So the pass wasn't working out. I remember going like 6 months of not going to the gym, and I'm like, we need to cancel this. This is ridiculous. We're not even using it. So we canceled our regular gym. I still was trying to go to the pole studio once or twice a week. And it was really a lot to ask someone to, for me, it felt like a lot to ask for a babysitter, very tricky. So I saw another free group, and this time it was by a different coach. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And I got into another free group. I saw another free group. So I was that kind of coach, or I wasn't a coach. I was that kind of customer that was looking for all the free groups and jumping in all the free groups because I wanted this positivity. I didn't know what it was, whatever these people were doing, but literally they all had something in common. They had insane energy. They were super optimistic and just crushing it, super consistent. And I'm like, I want those 3 things. So this time I jumped into a different girls group. Her name is Kira. She's my coach. And her story is a little bit different than mine. She has arthritis and has had huge success being on Shakeology and with the workouts. And both of these girls from these free groups, actually I had 3 coaches talking to me at this point about coaching. The reason they were talking to me about coaching is I was sharing my transformation or my journey with my aerial stuff that I was doing. So I was like writing up all these posts, and I opened Instagram just to show my progress and was talking all about it. And they're like, hey, you're literally doing everything a coach is doing, you know, except for inviting, but you're not getting paid for it. And I'm like, oh yeah, you know, you guys are just saying that, whatever. And I talked to my husband about it. I did a couple of coach sneak peeks like you're doing now. And I was like, yeah, this is a scam. Like, I am not doing that. That is so annoying. And I'm like, this was my excuse that I always told these coaches when they bother me. I was like, I already have a gym I really love, you know, and I did. I had the pole studio, the acrobatic, you know, aerial studio, and I don't need anything else. But I kept trying to sneak into their groups, right? So I'm like, oh. And then eventually I ran into my coach now at an ice cream shop. And I was like, hey, I know you. We've done fitness groups online. So I met Kira and CJ, ironically, at an ice cream shop, because of course you can have all the things, even if you live a healthy life, you can still have ice cream. And so I picked Kira over the other girl, Michelle, someone I don't know in real life. Are you kidding me? So I didn't even sign up with Kira right away. We started hanging out as friends. We hung out at New Year's, and eventually I was like, gosh, these are just real people, you know what I mean? And they found a solution that works for them. So after hanging out with Kira for a long time, I finally, on January 1st, 2017, of course, the first day of the year, you know how that is, I signed up to be a coach. And I was like, okay, I'm not quitting on this. Like, I'm going to give it, I'm just going to give it a year and see how it goes. Like, keep in mind, everybody, that I'm an elementary teacher. That is an insanely intense job as it is. So I'm like, I do not have time for this. I kept telling everybody, I don't have time. I don't want in on this. But I could see that other moms were sneaking it in between the cracks. And so that's what I started doing. I started running some challenge groups on Facebook. And come to find out, I really was doing it more for me at the beginning because it was holding me to this new level of accountability that I had never imagined. Like, if you have even one person looking to you, then it's like, oh, shoot, I better not drop the ball on this. Like, I need to hit play on my workouts to show, these guys what's possible. And out of nowhere, I popped abs for the first time ever. I was like, whoa, how do you get abs for the first time ever after having 2 kids? And I was just like, one thing that really helped is I started paying attention to sugar. I became obsessed with it. I was like researching it. And then I was really trying to find a shake that had integrity. I wanted a shake because they all have a good amount of protein. They all have a good amount of carbs. But what set this shake aside was the nutrients. And this superfood hunter who travels all over the world, I started becoming obsessed. And when I found out that they continue changing their formula as science evolves and all of the ingredients they put into it, it just, to me, I was just like, okay, like I'm going to commit to the shake too. At first as a coach, I didn't commit to the shake because I was just like, that's too expensive. But then I realized, like, as a coach, it's $3.75 a meal. Like, that is like half the price of fast food and 10 times the nutrients. I'm going to commit to the shake. Because Kira had said she had great results with having less pain with her arthritis and all these things. And then over time, it started becoming something different. It wasn't just for me. When I started having people message me, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm down 20 pounds. I'm so grateful for you because you keep checking in with me. I keep going. And I'm just like, whoa, okay, this is awesome. This feels good. And then all of a sudden, bam, I got pregnant. And I was like, oh, shoot, how am I supposed to be a coach that's growing the opposite direction? Mind you, I never had a lot of weight to lose in the first place. But anyway, so I was like, I'm going to rock the fit pregnancy. Here we go. I've never done this before. It's my 3rd pregnancy. Let's do this. And this pregnancy, you guys, so much different than my first one. And I became a master at modifying. I pushed play every day. I did pretty much a lot of the same things that I did in my first or before I was pregnant, but I did have a different doctor this time. My first doctor was like, no, don't do anything. And then this doctor was like, well, were you doing it before? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, then keep doing it. So I was like, okay. And your body, I found that your body tells you what feels right. So I read my body, I listened to my body, and I rocked a fit pregnancy my whole first year of coaching, had my baby boy, and continued working out and got my transformation. So as you can see, just navigating all these different stages of life. And this pregnancy, like I said, I wasn't exhausted going to the grocery store. I was like doing all the things. Like I even continued pole fitness as I was doing this. I was active. I ran a half marathon. I crushed my goal from the first time I ran a half marathon, but this time I was pregnant and I was like, my goal is under 2 hours. My goal is under 2 hours. And I hit that goal being pregnant and I wasn't pushing too hard. I was listening to my body. So there's this quote here that I saw in our last summit. It says, if you want to change, you've got to change. Or sorry, if you want change, you've got to change. You cannot change the circumstances, the seasons, or the wind, but you can change yourself. If you get better, life gets better. And I really love that quote because I think a lot of us are like me, where you're blaming your husband or you're blaming your job or your schedule, you're too busy and you want all this change, but you're not really taking any ownership. And that was 100% me for a very long time. And a couple of things that really helped was that as a coach, we dive into personal development. I'm going to talk about it more. But as I was going, my goal was to hit, 20 minutes of listening to Audible a day or 10 pages of reading a day. And this started changing me as a person to the core. Obviously, workouts give you the endorphins. So I'm happier, I'm feeling better. But now all of a sudden, like, I'm plugging into these trainings that have all these positivity and even going on some of these trips and being around all these positive people. And all of a sudden my relationship was improving. So it started changing a lot of areas of my life. This is my number one why. And when I talked to Scotty, when I first became a coach, he's like, Shaelee, what is your why? And I was like, well, you know, it would be nice if it would be, he's like, your why should be strong enough to make you cry. And I was like, okay, it looks like I need to dig a little deeper, because this was like a year or two into my journey. And I realized that when it came down to it, my why has always been to end the trend of obesity in my family. And my grandma, my sweet grandma, had a stroke at 55. She, such a beautiful woman, but never took care of her health, never challenged her mind, really put her family first, the same way my mom did. You know, I learned that sacrifice is love, self-sacrifice is love. And like I shared before, I also learned that that wasn't working for me. I was empty and something needed to change. My grandma could hardly walk, could hardly talk for the last 20 years of life. She begged me to take her to Hawaii. And I was like, Grandma, I can barely get you out of the house. I don't think I can take you to Hawaii. So we showed up with leis and grass skirts and we brought Hawaii to Grandma. But she is the reason that I stay so consistent, help people achieve their goals and lead healthy, fulfilling lives. So when it comes down to it, our number one job is taking care of ourselves. That is the number one. And there have been so many times I pulled back in my business because I knew I needed to take care of me. And that's okay. That's part of the journey. But if your cup is full, you know, look at all of these transformations. There are so many people out there, you guys. 1 in 3 adults are obese, and 1 in 6 children and adolescents, so that's from like 2 to 19 years old, are obese or overweight. And we're the only generation that is expected that our kids could die before us. And it is, to me, it is so sad. I can't even handle it. I am determined to end the trend of obesity in my family. And I'm also determined to end the trend of poverty in my family. And I finally found a company who has this similar mission as I do. The CEO found, he used to do infomercials all the time. His name is Carl Deichler. And he found, you know, P90X, Insanity, all these things. People weren't really sticking with it. They would buy the products and then never open the box or never stick with it. And my dad's a living example of that. He still has a box sitting on his couch right now. And he found that when people had referred them and were messaging and holding each other accountable, they were successful. And that is why they created the referral program. So this is only 3 minutes, but I want to show you guys what can happen when you reach out to somebody about coaching. Let me know if the sound doesn't work. Oh, by the way, before I start this is one of the Beachbody Challenge winners, and she was on stage. She won $100,000 and has a most beautiful story. Can you guys hear? Thumbs up if you can. Can you guys hear? Okay, good.
I can't hear the audio on it, Shaelee.
You can?
I don't know why it shows the volume.
Let's see, what's the best way to get it to play, huh? Well, what I could do is I could send this to everybody if that's the best way. Yeah, it's only 3 minutes long. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure how to make the audio work. To play with her kids, and go ahead, Scotty.
I was gonna say we could just
say something.
Yeah, we could just get the link and then send it to everybody.
Share it in the. Okay, I'll just share it in the chat maybe or something. Okay, I'll get it to everybody. So basically, this girl's story really spoke with me because she had a stroke at 31. Which, as you guys know, that runs in my family. And you guys should just see where she's at now. It is insane. Maybe I can fast forward to it. So hold on just a moment. She started eating healthy, plugging into our groups, and literally here she is now.
Hi, I'm Jane, and
hold on one second. Let me make sure I'm plugged in. Okay, can you guys see that picture? 156 pounds in 16 months. So we tend to believe that nobody would, need this, but everybody needs this. Like everybody can benefit from this. Okay, so moving on. And let's see if it'll let me move on. Okay, so what do we do as coaches? What we do as coaches is 4 things. They're called the vital behaviors. Number 1, we show proof the programs work. So pushing play on a workout, it doesn't mean you need to be perfect at all. It's about showing up, being your best self. Number 2, doing personal development. So that is, like I said, plugging into the books, listening to the calls. Team calls count as personal development because they're just so inspiring. I love Tony Robbins. I love Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule. My first book when I first became a coach was The Compound Effect. Number 3 thing that we do is connect, invite, follow up. Now this is crucial. You can rock the 1 and 2, show proof the programs work, do personal development. But if you're not actually asking anybody to join you on this journey, then if you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. That's just how it goes. That's what I learned. It's the hardest part to get to feel comfortable with, but you grow every step of the way that you push that comfort zone. What you do is you set up groups, you start reaching out to people. I started adding people I went to high school with because I'm like, hey, why not? I never talked to them then. Why not start now? I started making friends everywhere. And it didn't matter if they wanted to do Beachbody or not. I learned through Beachbody that the best way to make a friend is to be a friend. And step 4 is to get people results. So not just results for yourself. Yes, that's important. And that's the number 1 rule, but results for others. So, checking in. And it doesn't have to take a lot of time to check into your group. Hey, I did this. What are you guys doing? How are you doing? Drop your sweaty selfies below. And then the other part of the results is helping new coaches get started. And we have all of those training programs available to use. And they are so simple and easy to follow and duplicatable. Okay, so this is awesome. If you are hitting Success Club, we call it the 3 Lives Club. Hitting Success Club just means that you help 3 people get started, either with, you can see in the bottom corner, a challenge pack, Shakeology, or some of the other supplements we have, like the Beach Bars, the Recover, Energize. You earn 2 points every time that you share. You can see some of them have different points, but all of those in the bottom earn 2 points. So for getting somebody started in this community, which usually means a year of streaming and a 30-day supply of supplements, that gives you 2 points. Your goal is to hit 5 points in a month. So you want to help about 3 people a month to move your business forward. And if you do this, you get on the list to these amazing trips. I've been to Mexico. I've been to the Bahamas, Haiti. I've been on a cruise. I got invited to Punta Cana. Emily, who's on, just barely went to Punta Cana. I wasn't able to go, but they had such a blast. So this is really amazing. Everyone says they love traveling. They love making time for travel. And coaching has helped me make time. And not just that, but earn money toward my trips. Obviously, the more people you help, the more money you earn. If you only do the 3, not only, that's amazing. Even if you help 1 person, that's amazing, right? But then you may pay a tiny bit to cover the rest. But the more people you help, the more money you earn toward these trips. There are 4 types of coaches. So some are we used to call it discount coach, but nowadays we call it preferred member. So if you're wanting just to get the discount on our supplements, it's 25% off. And that's awesome in itself to save that much money on these amazing programs, proven products, all of that. The second type of coach is what I was for a long time, and that's part-time. Busy teacher, busy mom, and just plugging in when I can. And it is amazing to do that. You can earn trips, you can earn enough to cover your supplements, all of that. I earned enough to cover my supplements, trips, all of that from the get-go. But I mean, your level of the amount you earn will depend on your effort, skill, diligence. The third type of coach is those who want to build a business and they are working toward full-time coach. So I am determined to quit teaching in 2 years. So this is my 9th year of teaching. At the end of my 10th year, I will be quitting. And then I will be what is the fourth type of coach, which is a full-time coach. That's what Scotty is. Okay, how do we make money? There are 5 ways up here, as you can see. Growing a team is going to help you open all of these doors, but the very initial way that we make money is the total solution pack, or AKA commission on anything that you sell, supplements, 25% commission. So let's say that you sold a year of workouts paired with a 30-day supply of Shakeology. It would be the $160 is the usual price for that, and you would make $40 from that. But not just that, because if these clients continue ordering Shakeology, and then after a year of streaming, they renew their bod workouts, those renewals start adding up. And all of a sudden you're getting this reoccurring, that's where the income becomes more residual, is those reoccurring orders. And then there's the team cycle bonus. So if you start building a team and you hit that very first rank, which is Emerald, which is U plus 2, I'll talk about it in a second, you can tap into what's called team bonus cycles. So you're making money off the efforts of a team. And then of course, there's even more levels that you could get the matching bonuses. And once you hit the Star Diamond level, you can even get a quarterly bonus based off of the money that Beachbody earns. Okay, so here are some of the ranks. I don't want to take a long time on this, but starting as a coach right there, and the very first rank up is Emerald, it's U plus 2. And it makes it so that when your team does cycle, you make $14 a cycle. Once you're Ruby, that means that it's U plus 2 emeralds, which is, remember the U plus 2. So basically, your goal so that you can tap into that team volume. And then Diamond is an amazing thing I didn't think possible for me. And my coach Emily is on right now. She's also a Diamond coach, so huge shout out for her. It is $18 per cycle. Okay, so how do I start? Some of you might already have Beachbody on demand, and if you don't, these are 3 ways you can start. You could just pay $40. I know some people who don't even want to do Beachbody workouts. There's a coach named Kim who started as Orange Theory all through and through. She loved Orange Theory. She only sold our supplements. She was very successful selling supplements. So you could do that. Then the next level, so you could pay the $40 coach fee. That's option 1. Option 2, you could buy just Shakeology and not do the workouts. So supplements only. That one would be $97 as a coach with the $40 coach sign up fee, a total of $140. Option 3 is if you get workouts and supplements together in a challenge pack. So a challenge pack is typically $140 all the way up to $245, depending on what you add on or what you want. But the very basic is about $160 usually. But this month, the one that we're doing starting in August, this challenge group that we're doing, it's called Lift More. It's an 8-week program. That one is on sale for $140. So you get a year of streaming every single Beachbody program, access to our 2 proven, literally everything you need to be successful here, you guys. And then of course the supplements are crucial. The Shakeology gives you that nutrients you need, so you naturally have less cravings. So that is a basic of that. Does it cost to be a coach? Yes, it costs $16 a month to be a coach. You can send your emails, track your orders, customer service, you can call in, tech support. They warehouse all of our products, so we don't have to throw any parties at all. Can I get a whoop whoop? Marketing, training, they do all of it. It's worth every single penny. And $16 is so small an investment for your business. When it comes to all these people getting giant loans to take out to start a business, this is amazing. If possible, if at all possible, you want to maintain active status. That means that you're buying at least 50 PB of product per month. Do you have to drink Shakeology? I get that to help people and talk to people about things that you've tried. But there are so many other, as long as you're ordering that minimum of 50 PV, and if you're an Emerald, then if you're an active coach and you're an Emerald, then you can take advantage of that team volume that I was talking about.
Hey,
Okay,
Shaelee, could I answer
moving
one
on.
question? Could I answer one question?
Yes,
Oh,
please do.
yes. Leanne
Anonymous
asked
one?
a question. Yeah, she asked, what if you're already signed up for the workout? So if you're already on Beachbody On Demand, Leanne, or anybody listening, there's two ways that you could really do it. And I don't want to complicate it. Number one is there's something called a completion pack to the Total Solution Pack, which would give you, for example, Shakeology, and your coach sign up at the 40. So coach sign up is $40. Shakeology retail price is $128. There's a completion pack onto your BOD that you already have, and it's like $130.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Another option is, let's say you're 9 months in or 10 months into your Beachbody On Demand. You can completely cancel your Beachbody On Demand, and then just reorder a whole new challenge pack as a coach and get Shakeology a whole new year and your coach sign up fee waived. That's one of the options, because I love the option of a Total Solution Pack or the completion pack. But let's say your Beachbody On Demand, you're ready to do this, and your BOD renews in August, like next month. If you did the completion pack, you'd pay that like $30 for that, get signed up, get your Shakeology, your coach, all cool. But then $99 would come out in August for your renewal of your Beachbody On Demand. So it really just depends on how far into your Beachbody Demand membership you are.
Thank you, Scotty. Yes. Okay, moving on. So I know what mine was that I didn't have a lot of weight to lose. So I thought, oh, well, that's not going to really show a huge result. Some people, their misconception might be, I'm not at my goal weight, but at the bottom right-hand corner, as you can see, this coach is down 100 pounds, and watching the journey is so much more inspiring than actually seeing the destination. So it is totally fine if you're not at your goal weight. In fact, it's pretty awesome, because then you're going to get results, right? I am not a fitness or nutrition expert. That was one that I had, because I was just hoping that I would know those top trainers, top of the line fitness programs, top of the line nutritionists. There's no way you need to know all the answers. Is it a pyramid scheme? Scotty's going to cover that in just a minute. I don't have time. We have a tracker that you can follow. You set the timer, you stick to the plan. So it tells you 10 minutes of doing this, 10 minutes of that, 10 minutes of this. And if you stick with it, you can move your business forward in 1 to 2 hours a day. It is all about consistency with that tracker. I don't have money. So the initial startup is, like we said, it's about 140 right now if you do the Lift More Challenge Pack. And if you were to help 2 to 3 people get started, it would cover that completely. So if you don't have enough money to get started, I totally understand. I've been there, I understand, but I want to tell you, it is possible if you were to get others to commit to this with you, that it could be completely covered from the get-go. No one will sign up with me. That is one that I also had. Little old me, I didn't think anybody would want to hear my story, but the truth is that everybody has a beautiful, unique story, and somebody will connect to your story even more than I will. Shandy, do you have a question?
I have a comment, if that's okay.
Please, I love it.
I hope you can hear me. So I think the biggest thing that got me when I started, that like put doubt in my mind, was I would see other people comment like, these Beachbody coaches, they aren't qualified, you know? And the thing is, we don't need to be qualified. That's what Beachbody On Demand is for. That's what the super trainers are for. We're just there to be examples, and we're there to give them the information, like how to get started, you know?
Yes.
And we're there to show them that they're capable, and we're there with them. So we don't have to be, like you said, we don't have to have all this knowledge. And that's why you can sign up basically for free, because you don't need to know anything. You're just, like you said, a friend, a support. You're a coach. That's what coaches do. They cheer you on, and hopefully they know some stuff, but you really don't have to know a whole lot.
I love it so much. The truth is that us coaches need accountability just as much as our clients do. And that is the truth. We don't have all the answers. We're here to give them accountability. Thank you for sharing that. My gosh, I love that. Okay, so now it's Scotty's turn. So meet Scotty Hobbs, 6-time elite coach and dad of 5. Do you want to add something, Scotty?
No, I was just going to start talking, but you can do a little introduction if you want.
Oh, well, he is a stay-at-home dad of 5. I know that he brought his wife home with his coaching. His mom is his virtual assistant. It looks like someone's trying to get in. Hold on.
I got him.
To admit them. Okay, good. Okay, so welcome, Scotty Hobbs.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, if you're watching this thinking like, what is this coaching thing? And you've learned a little bit from Shaelee today, just know, and you're probably like, what does elite even mean? I don't want you to think about that too much. I want you to just know that I'm just a regular guy. Like my 6-year-old is the only one here in the house with me, but I do have 5 kids. And like Shaelee, I fit this business into the cracks of my day. Like, for example, I just dropped my son off at football. My wife is at gymnastics with my other daughters. 2 of my daughters are at girls camp doing a hike today. And like I dropped my son off, came back, did this call. And then when I get off, I'll be with my 6-year-old getting him to bed. So I just fit this business in the cracks of my time as well. I'm extremely grateful that my wife is supportive of this as well. So if you're wanting to get on board with this, I highly suggest you share maybe this recording with your spouse as well, so they can kind of see what it is that you're looking into. I tend to get so excited about this, and I know we only wanted to keep this to about this time till 7:40 Mountain Time, and we're already there. So I'll do the very best I can. But my journey started when a complete stranger knocked on my door. He was a member of the church that I belonged to. I was inactive in my church. I didn't go. My wife didn't go. We got married. Our daughter was born 6 months after, and we were like 5 years into our marriage with 2 little girls. And this guy knocks on the door, and it turns out he was trying to bring us back to church. But I let him in because he had brownies. And so he let me in. And here, let's do something. Let's turn the slides off, Shaelee, so I can see everybody. You just hit end share screen. It would be cool to see everybody on here. And then just, let me try something real quick. Okay, there we are. I want to see you guys. Okay, so I let him in. I got to hit this view so I can see everybody. Okay, so I let him in, and it turns out he was trying to bring us back to church. I let him in because he had these brownies. But I was, I had 2 kids, 2 little girls, and it turns out he had 2 little girls. So we really connected one-on-one. Like we had things in common. We were the same age, but this dude was like 6'3", like 240 pounds of solid muscle. And I was 190 pounds of never had abs in my life, just fluffy. And I just, as he was talking, he was so energetic, so excited about life. It turns out he was the high school special teams football coach. He had moved from Utah to Idaho. And I was just like, I just basically asked him, I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, can you help me out? And so he did what every one of us should do as coaches. He's like, I'll help you out. Like I strength trained the kids at the high school. You're welcome to come with me. But unfortunately that time I worked 12-hour days in a steel factory running a service department. So I'd go to work at 5 a.m., get home at 5 p.m. When I'd get home from work, my wife would already be at work. She left at 3 p.m. and would get home at 11 o'clock at night. And, we had the kids in the babysitter at the babysitters in that block between like 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock. And so I told him I couldn't be there at 6. And he's like, well, you could try that P90X workout. I heard it gets you ripped in 90 days. And so he gave me some nutrition advice, told me to do P90X. Guys, I committed to P90X, and in 90 days, I lost 38 pounds and I had abs for the first time. And I was just like, I was running on my lunch break during a 12-hour day on top of my P90X. Like it was changing me, who I was. And I got so excited about it. And people started to be like, dude, have you seen Scotty and his results? Like, have you seen he's getting ripped? And people just started talking about it and asking me about it. And I fell in love with the process of and remember, I'm not even a coach. I'm just doing the workouts. I fell in love with that process of being like, you got to do P90X. You got to do Insanity. You got to do Turbo Jam. You got to do Turbo Fire, all these Beachbody workouts, right? And I fell in love with that process. And during this time, I'm working these 12-hour days. and my wife's working at nights. I'm trying to start multiple side businesses, side hustles. I'm buying and selling things on Craigslist, like laptops, Wii's, Xboxes, and I'm reselling them. And during my time at the steel factory, I learned how to program like a laser cut machine that cuts metal. I ran the laser, I programmed it. So on my lunch breaks, like I'm building this business on Facebook of creating custom signs, like for their garage that says like their last name and has like trees and moose and stuff. And like I'm advertising on Craigslist, on Facebook, and I didn't know how to do those things. But I was trying to build these businesses, and I was putting all this time into it. And like I would create a sign and sell it to someone for like $150, but I'd literally put like 30 hours in AutoCAD drawing that sign and then paying for the metal. And like I was making like $8 a sign for like $30 for like 30 hours. So I'm not making much progress in those businesses. But so I was trying to do something because I knew I wasn't supposed to work 12-hour days, and I knew my wife wasn't supposed to be working nights. Haven't you guys been like that? Like you're 5 years into your life or 10 years into your marriage life, and you're like, this is what I imagined. I'm like, not at the job I wanted or working more than I thought. Well, that was me. So I was introduced to coaching similar to like Shaelee said. I had multiple coaches talking to me because I had put my pictures online, and I had probably 30 coaches say like, hey, you should join our team. Come listen to this coach opportunity call. Like many of you guys might be on today, like the same type of invite in a way. But what I noticed is they were copy and pasted scripts, a lot of them. And this is like before I became a coach, and I was like, oh, I can never do that. Like what is that thing? What is that? I don't even know what a 3-way call is. I don't know what an opportunity call is. Like, I just wanted someone to be like Shaelee said, I'm words of affirmation. I wanted someone to be like, just like write me and be like, hey, that's awesome, inspiring that you lost that weight and that you're getting fit. So I vowed to never, ever be a Beachbody coach. I even put on Facebook, I was like, if any of these coaches could convince me to be a coach, I would absolutely crush it. Now, 2 things I want you to know about that. I said that because I believed I was a hard worker. Like I'll do whatever it takes to provide for my family. So I knew whatever that coach thing was, if I did it, I would be successful at it. But on the other hand, I was like, I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to go write a bunch of strangers scripts and be like to come, do a 3-way call and do it like that. It just didn't feel authentic to me. But in all reality, thinking back retrospective, I realized that I was afraid that I would fail at it. I was watching multiple coaches who had built an incredible life, contributed to their families with this. And I was like, I just can't do that. Like I'm introverted. Like I'm an ex-drug addict. I dropped out of college. Like what's someone like me? Like, how could someone like me be deserving of a life and success like that? Well, I got a little emotional about that. I didn't think about that, but that's how I felt. So it held me back from starting. But the time came when my 3rd daughter was born. And I remember sifting through the bills, hospital bill, the doctor bill, the anesthesiologist bill, my Blue Cross statement, showing me everything that I owed. And I remember sitting in my office that morning in my cubicle, and I felt like that cubicle was spinning around me. Like this heavy weight was on my shoulders. Like, dude, how are you going to do this? You're already paycheck to paycheck, working 12-hour days. Your wife has to work at nights to help contribute to the bills. And now we have $2,000+ of bills from the birth. And I just remember feeling overwhelmed. And have you guys ever felt like that before? Like the world's spinning around you, like you have no control. That's how I felt. And I started asking all these questions to myself, like, maybe you should go back to college because I dropped out. Maybe you could work 2 full-time jobs and your wife can come home from working. So call it God, the universe. I just felt like in that morning, like, be a coach. Like, you love the programs, you love helping people, and you have the ability to grow. So, and this is something that you don't have to take more time away from your family. You don't have to go back to school. You don't have to get a second full-time job. You can do this in the cracks of your time. Like, you can do this on your lunch break. You can do it on your 15-minute break in the morning at work. You can do this when you put the kids to bed at night at 8:30, when your wife's at work till 11. And so I made that decision in April of 2011. And it's completely changed my life. And like I said, I could talk forever and give you all the details of how it happened and all of that stuff. But I went all in. I was like, I'm going to build a business with this. I'm going to help as many people as possible. And And I committed to that. And here we are 11 and a half years later, 12 and a half years later since that first P90X workout. And I absolutely love seeing people transform their lives. In this team, I make this statement that we create champions, like we create winners, and we help people who are great humans rise into their potential. Like we had Chris Pandolfo all the way in the UK, lose over 170 pounds, win the $100,000 Beachbody challenge. We helped him become a champion, right? From like nearly dying to being alive and losing that weight and winning that challenge and building a business. And he's building a great business doing it, inviting people as he lost the 170 pounds. One of our guys, Matt, he's on here. He has lost 130 pounds. And guess what? Last week, he won the Beachbody Classic Physique Contest, #1. Like for a physique con where you get on the stage and like do your poses after losing 130 pounds. So I'm super proud of what we do. We got a ton of experience in helping people get their weight loss transformations and also in building this business. I'm super passionate about the business. It's contributed hugely to my life. There's this thing called Beachbody compliance that helps keep us safe from regulators, from making a quick rich scheme and all that stuff, and pyramid schemes like Shaelee said. So I can't share all of the things it's done for me, but I have done this, contributed to my family's income for 10 and a half years. And it's been absolutely incredible. We're building our dream house right now. My mom and dad have both worked for me as employees to help me manage everything, because we do have a team of 45,000 coaches across the US, Canada, France, and the UK. And I hope to open up into the Spanish, Latino speaking countries in the next few years. But I just love what we get to do. It's completely changed my life. And Shaelee asked me to bring it up the thing because someone asked her, is this a pyramid scheme? And the answer is no. And a pyramid scheme is when there's no products involved. The only way for someone to make an income is if somebody buys the opportunity. But we have real life products that transform people's life. And I'm a testament of that. I used these products for an entire year and it completely transformed my life before I ever became a coach, before I ever earned my 25% commission. And I have to say something super funny, because as I was building these businesses, I was recalling, I was thinking about this. I was sharing before I became a coach, I was not going to be a coach, right? So I set up this Amazon affiliate account and I would share my pull-up bar. I shared some dumbbells that I bought and I created Amazon links. I sold 30 pull-up bars on Amazon. And I never made a single dollar from it because Amazon had this threshold where you had to earn $50 before they would do your payout. And even though I sold 30 pull-up bars, the commission was 1% commission. And so I remember when I became a coach and I sold my first box of P90X DVDs and Shakeology back in the day before Beachbody On Demand, and I made $50, I was like, holy crap, this is so awesome, because I was doing it already for free. And it was just it gave me hope that this is the way that I'm going to bring my wife home from work. And when I first started, I didn't ever dream of doing this full time. My dream was I was willing to work hard. I was I'll work 5 to 5, but I'm going to do everything I can possibly with this business to earn enough extra income to contribute and replace what my wife was making at night working at the hotel. So that when it was just my why, Shaelee talked about the why, my why to build this business was I just envisioned how incredible it would be to come home from work at 5 and have my wife home, and she could have dinner ready, or we could cook dinner together and we could sit down with our 3 daughters at the table together and eat dinner, because we didn't do that. We swapped kids in the parking lot. I picked kids up from the babysitter and I would see her come home at 11:30, half asleep in the bed. She would give me a kiss and I'd be gone before she would wake up. And that was our lives. So it was my dream with this coaching to be able to say one day, Gabby, you don't have to go to work anymore. And we can be home and eat dinner together, go for walks, go for bike rides, kick the soccer ball in the front yard. So that's why I'm here today, 11 and a half years later, because I made a commitment and a vow that I would always be the example of doing the 4 vital behaviors that Shaelee talked about. So if you join this, when you join this team, I want you to know that I will be here. Like when I'm talking to people, I hear people all the time. They're like, well, I was a coach once, it didn't work out, or my coach never talked to me. Like I'm the guy that will be here, like 60 years old, in the front row at Summit, cheering on my coaches crossing the stage for their recognition and everything that they've accomplished. And that's something that I promise that I will do, because it changed my life so drastically that I'm going to be the example for others, that if they emulate what I'm doing, my business activity tracker, where we teach you, I know Shaelee briefly mentioned it, but I'm gonna just tell you, like, there's 14 things to do every day. And it takes literally an hour and 40 minutes in little blocks of time. You could, if you do those things, I can tell you, if you do those things and you work out and follow your meal plan, you will see success in this business. I can't promise you what that success level, because that would be dependent on how many people you help transform their lives. But it will absolutely change your life. And I could talk for an hour. So Shaelee, I'm done, unless anybody has questions.
Oh, that was amazing. Am I allowed to say that you're working on building your 5th vacation house? Am I allowed to say that?
My income is contributing to our 5th vacation house. And one thing, it's a separate business. One thing that I love, I'll say it, like, I don't like to accolade myself. I always feel like we're pretty humble people. But one thing that I love about Gabby, she migrated with her family from Bolivia when she was 2. And I watched her parents work 3 full-time jobs at times throughout our marriage of 17 years to still provide for their family. And so Gabby, growing up like that, has helped us extremely in taking care of our money, being smart with our money. And we're proud of that. And so everything that I earned with Beachbody, we live inside of our means. And over the last 11 years, everything that we make, we just invested in building buying and building vacation rental homes. And the cool thing is, by taking the opportunity, like, we have these vacation rental homes, all of them we have are paid for, and they provide a business for our family where we could live even without Beachbody coaching income. And I absolutely love that. But Beachbody contributed to us being able to save money and invest in things that will leave a legacy for our family. And we're building our dream home too.
Well, I am so proud of you, Scotty. And seriously, I still remember jumping on calls with you as a new coach. And I'm just like so motivated, the stuff that you share and the way that you sat down with me, even at dinner when I was just barely in St. Louis, and just helped me grow as a person. Like, you really care about people. It's not about the money. This is about people helping people and leading with the heart and forming real connections and real friendships that last a lifetime. And I just love being on your team. I think you're amazing. I remember when you got us team shirts, it said something about family.
Family over everything.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was like, that's right. Family.
Yeah, I'm committed to teaching people how to build this bit, like, go after your biggest, hugest dreams that you don't even know are possible for you yet, without compromising your family, without compromising your faith, God, your family. But I believe, and I shared this recently on a team call yesterday, a team training, because we do trainings, that I believe God places dreams and goals in every one of our hearts in some way or form. And if he's placed a goal and a dream in your heart, there's a way for you to achieve that once you believe in it and take action. And that's it.
Yes. And you, if anything, you get really healthy trying to hit this goal, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, you guys, that was it for today. Sorry that we went the whole hour, but I'm not sorry, because that was amazing. Thank you, Scotty, for inspiring me and inspiring so many people and believing in us, because there are goals hiding inside of you and they cannot die in you. There's no way that can happen. We will rise, my friends. Okay, we'll talk to you soon.
See you guys later.